Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks. Welcome to my studio, Stampin' Turtles. Today, we're going to look at what I got for Christmas and use some of the products. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to paint yet for y'all, but I will show you some of the good stuff that I have. Let's see. We can hear me. It's awesome. I love it when it works, y'all. It's awesome. I did get something that is electronic, but I'm not using it in this studio. I'm going to use it at my art studio for teaching classes there. So I do need a couple more components, but let me show you kind of what I got for Christmas. That's my main awesomest gift. So it's this thing here. It's on wheels. It has a boom arm, a ring light, a camera holder, and so it can point face down, it can point up, it can point wherever I want it to point. And it can telescope up and down depending on how close I need it to what I'm going to be painting. But when I do demonstrations for classes, I really wanted to, I wanted to have something like this so that I can project it onto a wall or a screen or a TV or something. When I'm doing classes, because I anticipate my classes are going to be growing in size, and for me to walk around the tables is great. I can do that one-on-one with people, but when I want to show everyone a step, it would be better to have it on a TV screen for everyone to see rather than me walking around trying to duplicate it, 10 times. And I don't know why my dog is barking. She is a bad girl sometimes. But let's see, where's my desk? There it is. So, my husband bought this for me and gave it to me. It's really awesome. I do like this brand, Royal and Langnickel. I do like them. I have the other ones. Do I even have my paint supplies here? No, they're in the car. That's okay. Reese, stop it. And sorry about that. But so I do have the other set that's got a variety of like a mop brush and larger sizes of the rounds. And I do like that one. So this one is actually going to be fun to play with. They are different. They're not the same. Let's check them out and see what they look like, because sometimes when you start to use things, whoop, there's like a thing here. I like it, but I don't have my scissors right by me. So let's move some of this stuff over here for now, because I don't want it all in front of you. We'll bring it out one at a time. One gift at a time. So this gift is all taped together, which is interesting too. But my husband was thinking that these would be great to use for my classes. And I have been trying to find bulk watercolor paint brushes that are nice. I bought some not so great bulk paint brushes, and they're for other things. Other things. They're not just for watercolor. So I want a nice bulk watercolor paint set that I can use for classes. Does anyone sell that? I may have to figure that out. But look at all the different sizes, y'all. So many cool sizes. Also, if I ever design my own brushes, I'm going to engrave the numbers. Engrave them. Because every time they're printed, they get worn out, because I'm always holding right there. They get worn out. So these are all different sizes. And you know what's going to be great about some of these? See if I can use the back of a piece of paper to show you. Look at how tiny some of those are. I'm going to be able to paint eyelashes on little doggies and different like on people. I've been painting people more for commissions, so they're really cool. Whenever you get a brand new paintbrush, just so you know, you may not know this, they come with a little protective coating on them so they don't bend. So you have to rinse them. You just rinse them in some water, and then it makes them pliable. Pliable. So yes, these are going to be fun. I'm going to use these today. This will be fun. This set of watercolor paints is super cool too. It's from the same company, Royal and Langnickel. Is that Langnickel? I'm sorry, I can't speak sometimes. So I use these for my classes to give to those who don't have their supplies. They do pay a little extra when they use my supplies. This is fairly inexpensive and it works great. I do think if you're going to be a professional watercolor artist, though, don't use these to paint commissions with, because it will fade. It will become, it won't be as enduring as like professional grade watercolors. But if you're starting out and you're doing a class and you want to just try this stuff out, this would be the perfect set to use. It has a bazillion colors in it. 24 to be exact. 24, which is funny because I do have my set of watercolors, I think has 24 in it as well. Of course, this does it have Payne's Gray? It may not have Payne's Gray. I think you have to mix it yourself, which is burnt umber or burnt sienna with cobalt blue. So you mix those two together and you'll get Payne's Gray. But it does have Prussian blue, which is similar. It has the black noir, which is a more reddish black. So, but this is great. It has a fair amount of yellows and reds and greens and blues. So it has a good old set. It even has white, which, you know, I don't use white. But we may end up using these, or I may just keep them because I know what they are. I know what they are. Now this is a jumbo pad. Like literally, let me turn it sideways. 50 sheets. 50. These are going to be great for my classes. 9 by 12, 140 pound. This is called Natural White. It's a textured surface. And it is also by Royal and Langnickel. They need to sponsor me. Hello. It's true. It's funny though. I just love their stuff. I love their stuff. So we may end up trying this. It actually has something on the inside that tells you all about the different types of paper, mixed media, watercolor, drawing, tracing, palette, marker, sketching. So this one, you don't want to go under 140 pound when you're doing watercolor paper, because you just need that thicker paper, okay? Thick paper is super important. And this is good because I do mixed media classes, and this would work great for mixed media. It doesn't matter if it's watercolor instead of mixed media, it will work just fine. So yeah, I have been trying to find this paper. I think I had another pad of this before, the B Paper Company. I didn't know it was a division of the Royal and Langnickel, but I did try it before and I thought it was great. It's acid free. Everything about it should be pretty standard. Pretty standard. So here we go. We've got some stuff here on my table. Oh, look, people texting me. Oh, hey Beth, how's it going? Nice present. Yes, thank you. I am so pleased. And this is I haven't gotten to this yet, but this was from my daughter and I've been wanting to try it, and it's Dorland's Wax Medium. And it says you can use it for other things, but what I want to use it for is to protect my watercolors after I paint on a surface that's not going to be framed behind glass. So like, let's say I have one of my ornaments and I haven't painted this one. But if I have a wooden ornament and I want to protect the surface, I would need to wax this. And I had other wax that I tried waxing and it made everything blurry. And I didn't like that at all. Trying to think if I have any already painted. But maybe I'll paint this one real quick and then try waxing it at the end. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? What should we paint on this? I don't even know. I don't even know. Let's see if we can zoom. Zoom, zoom. But I'm gonna just paint this real quick. Let's just say we're gonna do sky. Sky. And let's rinse and dry. Always gotta have that on there. And maybe use Payne's Gray for the trees. But I need to dry that. Do I even have my dryer? It's hiding. It's hiding. So see how easy that is to just get that dried quickly. You need a heat tool. If you didn't ask Santa for a heat tool, you need to get one yourself. Beth says, I may have seen it at Walmart, the bee paper. That's where I think I bought it as well. But not, I don't know if it was a 50 sheet pad of paper or not. I think it was smaller than that. It might have been 30. But I do remember thinking that I really liked it. All right, this brush is a little bit wide for me. I'm going to switch sizes because look at all the different sizes I have. I have so many different sizes. So let's try going down from a 5. We can go down to a 3. Let's try a 3. Remember, it's got that protective coating on there. You got to rinse it off. So let's see what happens if I do a smaller tree over here. Oh yeah, that's better. And I already had prepped these wooden blocks with some watercolor ground. So if you don't have watercolor ground, I recommend it because they are, it'll make it so you can create all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, these little brushes, ooh, their tips are so nice, y'all. So nice. And I can get this really kind of dark. I wanted to just wiggle my brush around. We're just doing something really, really quick. We're not doing a perfect picture. I may do a little bit of a shadow under these trees. And just on the snow. Maybe that's a little big. Erase some of that. And that's what I love about watercolor ground. For the most part, it works it makes any surface work just like paper. So that's good. We're going to let this dry. I could make it dry or let it dry. But for right now, I'm just going to move some of my brushes. I'm going to really like using these. I like them already. I like the little tiny ones, right? So we're going to put you right there and go back to our table, and I'm going to show you guys some more stuff. So let me clean up my desk. My desk is a mess. So tell me in the chat, did you guys get any art supplies? Did you guys get anything really awesome that you want to share and tell us all about? Because I think it's fun to share what we've gotten. Let me do that. Okay, so I've shown you my paper, these things. I showed you that. I'm going to paint this so I can show you how the wax works. So we're going to put this off to the side for a minute. I showed you the watercolor paper. Now let me show you something that I didn't even know I needed, but my husband bought this for me. Okay. And it's called a wet palette, 2-in-1 dry and wet palette. So it says for miniature painting. And everything I've looked up online has said the same thing about it's good for people who paint little miniature figurines, which I don't paint little miniature figurines, but I do paint these little miniature ornaments. So maybe that's what I'm going to use it for. And what I ended up doing, it's in this, it's in here. Let me see if I can shed a little more light onto the subject. There we go. Beth says, Color Cubes by Renee Clark. Are those the ones where you pick out a card from the deck and you stick to that color family or that color combo? Is that what that is? Color Cubes. I think that's what that is. All right, this is upside down, but it doesn't really matter. It has 3 sections. The cool thing about this palette is it came with all of these brushes. And I did read up on these ones. They said it's very, it's awesome to have this kind of triangle shape on the brush because you can hold it and it sits really nice. So I'm going to play around with these as well and see how I like them. And it does have these floofy little ones. I anticipate I'm going to use this more for my mixed media. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they are still really tiny brushes. This one is super teeny tiny. Let me see if I can show you if I can. It's so teeny tiny. It's like, it is definitely, it's a 10 out of over 0, which the smallest I use is a Rigger, which is a 3 over 0. So we'll see how this is going to work. I don't know. Do you guys keep these things? I always want to know, like, do y'all keep these? Because, like, I don't know. I have, like, all these little tubes. Is there something else I can repurpose them for? I have no idea what to do with these things. I end up throwing them away. But there's got to be something fun you can do with them. I have no idea. I'm going to be throwing things away, y'all, this year. It's a year of decluttering for me. I'm going to just start decluttering. All right, this is what makes it the wet palette. So it comes with these foam. These are little foam, I don't know what you call them, pads? Yeah, foam pads. And so you can get them wet, put them in the bottom here. It comes with these things, which this reminds me a lot of wax paper. I don't know if that's what it is, but it'll go in here when it's wet in there. I didn't bring no water. Did I bring water? I have a little bit of water. Let's see what happens. So it does tell you to pour, I guess you can pour water in there. You can get that all nice and wet. And then you put this on top, and it's supposed to keep this nice and wet. You say save them? Not sure why. I don't know why we would save them either, to be honest. So it's very interesting. I have no idea what we would do with them. Maybe, you know, what was coming to mind is people that make soaps. They could put wax into these. Is that what you use? Soap? I don't know. Whatever the soap is that they melt down and they pour into the little molds. They could turn these into little molds and have different colors. I don't know. Make little eyeballs or whatever. I have no idea. I'm sure someone could be very creative with them. All right. I can feel right in here. It's very it's kind of damp as opposed to the corners, which are not. So that's, I don't know if it goes through. I'm not really sure how this works, to be honest. Watercolor paint, it can be rehydrated, right? So I don't know if I really need to keep my paints. Y'all, I can't get any of these lids off. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna put a little bit right there just to see what happens. Let's see, what do you mix that with? Here's some green gold. This is toxic, so we'll try using it. Oh yeah, look at that. Green gold. I don't know what we use green gold. You're seeing an image of a dog? Beth's saying she's seen an image of a dog's head in the right upper screen. Oh, on my palette? I see it too. It's like upside down. His little face, I think. Is that what you're seeing? It's kind of cool how humans see things, huh? I don't know if it looks as much as the dog now. Maybe it's not. But the funny thing is we'll just, we're going to try seeing how this works. I may just stick with using the brand new brushes I got and see what that does. So see how teeny tiny, let me zoom in, y'all. Need to zoom in. Let's zoom. So see how I'm mixing? And it's gonna mix these two colors together. And I'm assuming that this is something where if you mix a very special color with different colors and you don't want to just toss it down the drain when you're done, you want to save it. So acrylic would be one of those things. You said yes, that's the dog's face right there, huh? So I would think with acrylic paint, this would be fabulous because then you could keep your acrylic paint wet longer. I don't know how long. We'll have to try that out. When I do my mixed media, I actually do want to keep my acrylic paint to last. And I know you can buy mediums. You can add into your acrylic paint to make it last and stay hydrated. So we're gonna move that just for a second and see what happens. But this is a large piece of paper. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. But we could do some, oops. We could do some golden colors and we can put that down and use one of my larger brushes. And we could just, maybe I'll do some mixed media for y'all right now, but I don't really have any acrylic paint with me. I don't really have anything to do mixed media here. That's kind of reminding me of a sun, so I might let that dry and then do the trees and it'll come through. And that was that green gold and raw sienna. So those two colors mixed together. So now we're gonna get, we're gonna mix, I do have some other colors on my other palette and I'm just gonna get them up and we're gonna start making some trees and some trunks maybe. I don't know, I'm just letting my brain be creative and just do some trunks and branches. Nothing too crazy. Might use some more yellow. And then as it goes in front of that sun, it changes colors a little bit. Right? And then as it gets away from that sun, it gets a little darker. But I don't know if that's perfect or not. We're just going to blend it in. Sometimes I do things a little willy-nilly. That's okay. You guys can be doing whatever. This is why I love playing with paint. Look at the cool little effects that we're getting. We're getting so many cool effects. But now that I have this is staying wet longer, I can use it and it's not drying as fast. And see, it's kind of the same color. Might need to go smaller just to get spindly little branches. And if it's too dark, we can always lighten it with some water. I don't know. What do you think? Is that looking kind of cool? I think it looks kind of cool. And then the ground, you can make the ground whatever color you want. Let's use one of these flat brushes. Get all that yucky, gooey stuff off of it. So I'm rinsing it. I feel like there's still some on there. I don't know. Sometimes people get some messed up ones. So you might, if you get a batch of brushes and they don't seem right, take them back because sometimes they are defective. But I think this just has glue on it. That's really strong. It's a strong glue. So I may mix up a little hillside right here. And we're just gonna go up a little bit. And what color do we want down here? We need some shadow colors. Shadowy colors, right? Sometimes we don't know what we're using off of our palette, but we're just having fun. Sometimes we want to put this other blue in there and see what happens. Look at that. That's kind of cool. If I zoom out, you can see what I'm doing. Check that out. That's actually really pretty. And this is with that bee paper. And I love the colors in here. This is so pretty. I'm liking it. I'm liking everything so far. Everything is looking great. Now, up here in the trees, I could go darker on this side over here. Beth says, love it. Thank you, Beth. I am loving it too. It's okay to love your own art. It's great, actually. This is going to be the year where we all just start saying how we enjoy creating, and we're not going to be judging ourselves too much, right? Let's make a pact so that we can all just love our own artwork and be happy. What do you think? Who's with me? Who wants to be making a little pact and creating just for the pure joy of creating instead of trying to be making it be perfect? Because who is perfect? I am not perfect, y'all. Ain't nobody perfect, right? Oh, I'm loving this tree. We may have to do a tree like this for our classes. But my very first class for the year, y'all, is going to be a Van Gogh Starry Night. If you haven't signed up yet, make sure you go check out my website and try getting on that one, and maybe getting close to full. If it fills up, I'll go to the next week too. So I'll do 2 of them. But I think this is looking awesome. I love this. I could frame that. That would be beautiful. I might have to add just a little, you know me, I just have to add a little more dark in there. Maybe a little more Payne's Gray on this trunk. and it's still wet, so it's going to be wet, wet and wet, which is really fun, okay? Do not get upset if your wet and wet looks kind of blurry. It's supposed to kind of do that. I like that. I like that. I like that. So that's one thing. We can let that kind of chill out for a minute, because there's more to this little wet dry palette. So it came with brushes, which I haven't tried yet, but they look fabulous. I'm not sure how to use these guys, but I feel like stippling, maybe stippling. I didn't know. Don't know for sure if that's what we want to do. I'm gonna move it off to the side, but I also think I need to move this off to the side. Oh, put you over here for a second. Sit on the Wi-Fi. Okay, so now, what else does this have? This is to rest your brushes on. So when you are painting, I've been watching this one guy. He's got larger paintings that he does, but he has bowls of color. And what I've noticed him do in his videos is he will paint a color, throw his brush down, pick up a different brush with a different color. So he's not rinsing out the same brush to get different colors with the brush. He's using different brushes and not rinsing them in between. So that's something too that we could all try doing this year, is designating a brush for like the blue, designating one for red, designating one for green. So if we're making a big painting, we might need to not waste our paint and keep switching back and forth between colors. But this is the palette. I'm not sure if I like the color, because when you're mixing colors, which I would assume you mix in these little wells if you're going to do it, you wouldn't really be able to tell the color that you're mixing, right? Because it's not white. But it does come with this, which is white. So I'm not sure. I guess you can squeeze out all your paint in here and take it. I would say you could take this plein air. That's what I would like to do with it. Also, the lid has this, so you can mix a lot of things in here. I don't know, I'm gonna have to play with this. I tried watching a few videos online about this palette and seeing if there's like a special way to do it or something. But I think what I'll probably use it for is plein air. But I'll be honest with you guys, when I get used to a palette, I can't switch. I've tried switching, like this ceramic one over here. Where can I buy one of those holders? Which holders? This thing for your paintbrushes. Well, this one came in this set. The cool thing is I do have this little turtle that's supposed to be a rest for my thing. Can you see that up close? Let me show you. So see this little turtle? You can rest your brush like that. But this one came with this set, this palette. So you can actually, rest all your brushes on here. And I think if you're a miniature painter, like you paint miniatures, I bet you need to keep your brushes like this. I'm assuming. I don't really paint miniatures, but who knows? Maybe I'll start painting miniatures. I paint all kinds of sizes. I go up huge and I do small. I do all kinds of stuff. Like, I would consider this almost like a miniature, right? This little thing. And I may even add just a little bit more detail. Since I have these tiny little brushes, I can add detail, right? And that's the cool thing about having different brush sizes, is that you can do a lot more, what do you call it? More detail. I don't know, maybe this is 3 trees over here. It could go off the edge there. And maybe make it a little bit wider at the bottom here. So see, we can play around. We can just play. It'll be fun. Fun to play. That's what I love about getting new stuff, is you can play with it and see what you like and what you don't like. So, you know, I may end up using this more for my acrylic paints. So we'll see. We'll see what I do with it. But it is interesting because, you know, this will stay wet a lot longer. And if you were outside painting with your plein air, I think that I've noticed when I do watercolors outside, it dries so fast, especially if you're in the sun. It's summertime, it's hot, and I have to use more water and keep adding water. So like when you get the right consistency of paint to water ratio on your palette and you start painting, then you find that it's drying faster on your palette. So this might be great for me to use plein air. And I do want to do more plein air. I think I'm going to have to start my own little group. The Tuesday group that I'm in, Tuesdays are hard for me, Tuesday morning. I would love to spend more time with them, but I just have a harder time. And so that's really cool. I like that. These things, I'm not really sure if you can get them on their own or if they only come in sets. I'll have to research this and see. So we'll try that, right? We'll try it. We'll try looking for it. Yeah, I'll zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. So we're almost to the end, right? We're almost to the end of all my gifts because I really didn't get a whole ton of stuff. But this one I'm very curious about. This is wrapped really nicely so that it doesn't spill, I'm assuming. Ooh, look at that. I don't know. It doesn't smell. I just smelled it. It does have, it looks creamy, creamy, creamy. Let's see if I have, let me see if I have a painting, a watercolor painting that I don't mind if I wax, let's see, should I wax this? Banana with duct tape on it, y'all, that's pretty funny. Here's something, a little teal pumpkin. Here's one with little deer. These were just abstract. Oh, this was an angel I did. So I don't know which one of these I may wax. And if I don't care, if it gets messed up, right? That's what I want to make sure I don't do one that I'm like, ooh, I just messed up a masterpiece, right? Oh, this one is really pretty too, and it's got a lot of bright colors. Should I wax this one? Let's wax this one. This one might be fun. All right, so let's zoom in again because, I don't know. Let's see if I can zoom in, but not as zoomed. Not as zoomed. So there we go. Okay, so this is really pretty. I kind of like the bright colors, and maybe we'll be able to tell if it affects anything, right? So I'm going to just be honest. I've never done this. Never, ever. So I'm going to use my finger. So I am just getting, it is very liquidy. I don't know if my fingers are too, I don't know if I need to not rub it. If I should use a paper towel. Maybe I'll use a paper towel. Let's use a paper towel. Because I have no idea. Maybe my finger is going to be too warm. Look at that. I got a fair amount of, oops, there we go. Fair amount on the paper towel. And we're going to rub it. Rub it on here, okay? And we'll see what happens. And I don't know how long it takes to dry. Ooh, the color is coming off on the paper towel. So it is kind of bleeding or doing something. It's doing something, y'all. And let me just do all of it. But I think once this wax dries, it's like a protective coating. And so some people I think I've watched, they put it on pretty thick and then they buff it out. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. So anyways, I just covered that in wax. So it's got wax all over it. I actually see a lot of streaks now from the wax. I don't know if I like that. But I know an artist in town. Oh, I can't remember her name. Beth says, I think I can find one on Etsy. Love the ornament. Oh, the ornament I'm painting? It is turning out quite nice. I need to make a lot more of these guys for next year. I did not paint enough ornaments. I feel like ran out. And then people were asking me to paint them ornaments. And then I was very busy with other commissions and just ran out of time. And I felt bad because I was like, oh, I'll paint you something for sure. All right, I'm going to see what happens if I buff this out a little bit. I kind of think, I can't tell if it's bleeding. I don't know. You guys, this is an experiment. You are watching real life experimentation. I do see paint coming up, so I don't like that. I don't like that. But when I've done wax with a different wax, not this Dorland's wax, it ended up being, it bled. Like the painting underneath bled out and was fuzzy. So I didn't like that. So we'll see what happens to this. If it ends up smearing, bleeding, I have no idea. It's pretty bright. Brightly painted with thick paint on here, so it should. Kind of got rid of the streaks by doing that. So I've seen people buff it out. I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm kind of being gentle. I'm not being rough. Being very gentle. Oh yeah. I'm feeling like that's pretty nice. Is it still pretty bright? It's still pretty bright. So I'm liking that it hasn't changed the color on there. I think that's good. Now this one, if it's still kind of wet, I'm sure that will be a problem. Maybe. I don't know. I always would tell someone when I painted a commission on a wood block like this, I said, don't get it wet. I told them that. Don't get that wet, because then it'll bleed. But what we're going to see on this, I don't know if we have to wait for this to dry. Or if it can be, you know, drop some water on it now. Do you think we can drop water on it yet? I don't even know. I need to probably watch 100 videos and then get back to you guys. But, so this is the Dorland's wax. And what it said on here, which I think is kind of funny, it says translucent compound of waxes and resin to be mixed with oil paints, powdered pigments, colored sands, dyes, and other compatible fine art materials. Excellent for encaustic painting, hot or cold wax, painting and mixed media. It says unparalleled as a sealing medium and protective matte top coat for paintings. wood, paper, plastic, metal, photographs, and more. For a luster finish, buff gently once dry. Oh, once it's dry, buff it. Gotcha. Didn't do that right. Removable with mineral spirits or solvent. Used as an additive to make oil colors thicker and more matte. Dorland's cold wax medium resists cracking and dries faster than unadulterated oil colors. Interesting. And it says thin wax medium as desired with odorless mineral spirits and mild heat. Do not heat above 170 degrees. It's harmful if you swallow it. Do not do that. It says ventilation of work area recommended. Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't sniff this. Sorry. Put the lid back on. I didn't think it smelled. It didn't really have an odor to me, but I am liking this. I think I need to let it dry. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know if I got everything on this. I don't know. What happened to my little wax paper? Did I already move you somewhere? I didn't even know. I can't even feel it on this tissue. So I think it dries pretty fast. I'm thinking it does. So what would happen if I take one of these brushes and drop some water? Ooh, look at the little drop. There's a little drop of water. It's just sitting on the surface. Oh my gosh, that's awesome, y'all. It's just kind of going down the trunk of that tree. It's not even. It's not mixing at all underneath. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Y'all, it works. And we didn't even wait that long, to be honest. Oh, I'm going to be using this. I'm so glad. So my daughter got me this, and it's 16 fluid ounces. I'm anticipating I will never have to buy this again. But who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll be doing some large canvases with the watercolor on, prepping a canvas with watercolor ground, and then after I paint it with watercolor, I could seal it with this wax medium, and then you don't have to frame it under glass. How cool is that? I'm liking this very much, very much. Very good gift, very good. Of course, I asked for it, so that's nice. Are you one of those people that, like, when someone tells you what they want as a gift and you try and get creative and come up with something similar, but not exactly that, and you think, oh, they'll like this even more? Sometimes I do that, and I don't know why I do that, but y'all, that water just was sitting on the surface, did not blend with that painting at all. It's perfect. It's like sealed completely. It is sealed with that wax, and it didn't bleed. Like, that's what's so cool. So I'm looking at the branches and stuff, and it's not spreading out and bleeding. It's so great. Now, I did notice there was a little coloration on here. You can't really see too much. See how there's a little bit of red or something, purple maybe, on there that came off when I first applied it. So that, I don't know what that's going to be, but I do think this is great. And I was trying to remember the artist's name. She does watercolor, and she puts them on blocks. She cuts them and glues them onto a block, and then she waxes them. I'm not sure if she does several different layers of the wax. I need to look her up because I feel like people know her. Fairhope watercolor artist. Let's look what pops up. It's showing me galleries, but not really showing me people. Let's see. I do think she's at Hello Gallery. If you guys haven't been down there, let me see if it's on their website. But she has this thing where she would take a block of wood. So like, let's just pretend this is a block of wood. So she would take her painting and glue it to the wood. And then cut whatever hung over the edge of the wood, cut that off. So like, I'll probably use this instead. So you would have this on a block of wood, right? And then you would turn it over and like X-Acto knife cut off the edges so that it would be flush with the block of wood. And then she would wax the top so that it would be totally protected. Do they not have a website? I have no idea. It's so hard to find things sometimes. Do you find you have a hard time finding things like, that you found it, or you remember something and you're trying to find it and it's just so hard to find for whatever reason? You can't find it. Trying to see, there's some other artists that I definitely recognize. I want to remember her name so bad, but I'm having a hard time remembering her name. Let me see. If I just saw her name, I would probably remember, you know? Are you guys like that? It's like someone says the name of someone, you'll remember it. But I am pretty sure she's in Hello Gallery. And just scrolling through their Facebook, I do not see her yet. I don't see it. But I'll try and remember to look it up and inform you guys once I find it, because I don't want to. You don't want to watch me just sit here and scroll on my phone, do you? No, nobody wants to watch someone scroll on their phone. But speaking of scrolling, so what time is it? It is almost 11. So I'm gonna just tell you guys really, really quick my plans for January, because I have a conviction about scrolling and mindless scrolling. So it takes away a lot of my time, a lot of things that I would be doing, that I could be doing that's productive. And I realize every year I say I'm going to start doing my Christmas ornaments earlier, or I'm going to do, whatever I want to, paint for Christmas for next year to sell at my craft shows. I'm going to start in January, right? And I always say that. And then what happens in January? I'm like, I've got, I'll start in February. And then, February comes and you're busy doing all kinds of stuff. I'll be teaching classes and who knows? I'm always busy. So then I'll be like, I'm just going to scroll and not worry about it until March. And then March comes. Well, I'll do it this summer. Summer comes and goes and just too busy or too tired or too whatever. And just don't get to it. And so then it's like, boom, October, November. And I'm like, I need to start painting my Christmas stuff. You guys, woo! My little brain is like, I don't want to do that this year. I don't want to do that. So I do want to get a planner for myself. I want to get something where I have a schedule of what to paint. I already have a good friend of mine, Lisa. She's going to help me stay on track. I told her, I said, if you want me to paint something for the shop, tell me what you want me to paint and I will get it done. And so like Easter, y'all, Easter is coming, and I know in my mind, I've been wanting to paint a donkey, and I want to paint it kind of big. So it's going to take, at least a week or two probably to paint it. So I really want to paint that and maybe get prints made, because I'm anticipating it being one of those, more expensive paintings for the original. And so if that's too expensive for people to purchase, then they can purchase a print. And I'm not a big fan of prints. I don't like trying to make them. I don't like trying to photograph my art and send it to the printer. I really shy away from that. But this last Christmas, what I realized about the prints that I made about Jesus walking with the sheep and returning the sheep to the herd, and I was like blown away by the way it touched people's hearts, and like it would just stop someone in their tracks walking by my booth, and they would stop and they would look at it and they'd zoom in like real close and check out the details, and then they would sometimes walk away, but then sometimes come back and buy it. And the way they told me, it really spoke to them or to their son or daughter. These are the kind of things that really inspire me to make prints of certain paintings. So I do have some other paintings that I've done, like Daniel in the Lion's Den with the angel appearing. I've done, what was the other one? A sheep's head. But I really have been struggling to paint the donkey because I want a good reference photo. So sometimes I just don't have the right reference photo. But this year I went to Fish River Trees where we cut down our Christmas tree, and I was able to take some pictures of the live donkey they had there. And I found a pretty good angle. I want to see the cross on his back with his head kind of turning back, looking at it a little bit. So, and it's from behind. I kind of wish it was a little higher up, but I think I can kind of do a little artistic license and paint it from a different angle. So, paint it from a little higher angle on it. But this is basically what I got. Oh, did I show you the last thing? Did I show you guys? So I didn't bring that in here, but this is my main gift, and I'm gonna definitely use this at the studio. So I'm gonna try and get a TV to mount on the wall in the studio so that people can see it. I need to figure out a way to Bluetooth my phone to a TV, a smart TV, and then I can use this as a monitor or whatever, projector. So this is definitely my my, I don't know if it's, I guess it is my favorite gift, because even though I haven't used it yet, I think it's going to be amazing, because the boom arm, I already have been playing with it, and it's way better than like the setup I have here. You probably don't even know what setup I have here, but this boom arm is connected to a shelf, and it's not the best at, I can't move it around. Like I cannot move it. It's right where it is over my desk, which is, great. I can see my desk. Everything's pointing down. But if I ever wanted it to look up at me, or, something else, some other angle, I can't do anything with that. And so then I also have some other stuff at the studio that I can clip to a table, but sometimes the table's really thick and the clip doesn't reach around the edge of the table. So then I'm like, that won't work for it either. So this is going to be the best solution for what I need, which is I can roll it around wherever I need it. I can position it straight down or facing me or facing the ceiling. While, I don't need it to face the ceiling, but it could face the ceiling if it needed to. It's like, oh, look at how I splattered the ceiling, and then, show people. But I don't know. I just really had such a great Christmas. I hope y'all had a great Christmas. So let's see what the scripture is today. It's so windy here. I don't know if you guys have been, we're going to get freezing weather tonight. I'm so glad yesterday I brought in all the plants. I brought in all of the stuff. I didn't do it from the last freeze, so some of the plants look a little sad. a little bit of messed up edges, but maybe I can salvage them a little bit, put them in the garage for a couple days and avoid this big freeze that's coming. It's a big freeze. And we had wind blowing this morning. It was like, I was like, are we going to have a tornado? Like, what's happening? But sometimes we do get tornadoes when that cold front comes through. Oh, I like this. I don't know if it's pertaining to gifts or anything, but maybe you'll enjoy this. It's Job 11, 18 and 19. And I don't know which version of the Bible this stack is using. I just know that I like how it says it. Sometimes I look it up just to make sure it's accurate. But different versions of the Bible kind of say things differently. Sometimes they use different words. So if this is not perfect to your version of the Bible, I would just say look it up in your Bible. So Job 11, 18 and 19, it says, "You will take your time and rest in safety. You will lie down unafraid, and many will look to you for help." Interesting. So I do want to spend less time on my phone. I am even considering not going on any social media whatsoever for 30 days for the whole month of January. That's gonna kill me, y'all. I spend like 10 to 12 hours a day on listening to stuff from videos and getting ideas. So I am getting from other artists ideas, but a lot of times I get paralyzed from the ideas and I don't act on them. I don't go and create. I just, oh, that's cool, and keep scrolling, right? So my hope for fasting from social media will be that I do more art, do more cleaning the house, do more cooking. I don't really cook, y'all, but maybe I'll start. I got my daughter a baking bread kit, and maybe I'll start baking bread with that. Because everybody likes to eat the bread. So I might make the bread, and that might be fun. But also there's a rest with our minds. And I've been noticing that I don't remember things as good as I used to. And I think it's from being on social media. It's just like my brain doesn't have to think. My brain doesn't have to work because it's just scrolling. And so if I have some quiet time, some rest for my brain, I think that'll help with the memory. And I think that'll help with maybe even being more creative myself. Who knows? Who wants to do it though? Who wants to do a social media fast with me? Let me know in the comments if you want to do that. I think I'll still post my live video on Mondays, and I may even still do my Watercolor Wednesday wisdom. So we'll see if I do that. But of course, posting, I'll have to post and get off because it'll be too tempting for me to scroll. So, but I hope that y'all are having a blessed end of the year for 2025, and that you have some amazing goals to create more art or do some new mediums or try a new product or just share what you've been working on too. Sometimes it's scary to share what you're working on. Like I remember starting this channel for my art, and I decided to just go for it and not worry about how it looked and if it was perfect or not. Because no one's perfect. If you watch these other channels, they're not perfect. They have issues. So, and they've been doing it longer than me, and that's why I got to remember. I started the race a little bit late, and so I'm probably going to get to that finish line later, if there ever is a finish line, because if you think about it, you're always learning. You're always growing. You're always creating more. And sometimes it evolves when you create. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm going to paint pet portraits, but then all of a sudden someone's like, let's paint houses and let's paint people. Or maybe we want to go more abstract. Let's paint some wild animals. Let's paint some ocean themes. I don't know. waterfalls. I like painting waterfalls. I do like the mixed media abstract stuff too. So who knows where I'll be next year, 2026 at this time. But I do know that God's got a big plan for me and for you. And I just hope that I can follow the calling that He's put on my heart and create a welcoming environment for other artists to come together. So I hope you guys know how much I love you. Have a great rest of the day and a happy new year. Mwah.